Hello everybody, Kane here and welcome to another video of Art of Conquest. So in this one we're gonna talk about the city defense and what you can do to make it somewhat a little bit better to defend. So in terms of city defense, majority of the time say on early game, probably Lich are like the top class in terms of city defense. I think Dwarf or Human goes after and then the other races. And as the game goes, I do believe right now and even in the highest tier of play, Lich and Sylvani are kind of the top tier. Then comes the humans, but in some cases, if you rather properly invest, humans can also be like one of the better defenses. And then come the Rakan, which will always be at the very bottom, as well as I believe Dwarf, but I haven't seen any Dwarves or city defenses for a long time, so I cannot really have any opinion about them. So let's talk about the city defense. So I have 3 archers on the top. We're gonna talk about Zen and Dire as well, though I do believe this video will be a very long one since there are quite a few topics to cover. And on the ground I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 swordman squads. The reason why I don't have archers is because even weaker people would actually clear me. And how can they clear me? So they would be placing something like a Solaris right here. All of these heroes and the archer will focus the Solaris, and then the Avril behind will keep killing this one archer squad or so. And whenever I do not or will not have archers in the squad, literally what the computer will place is a whole field of swordmen, and they will just wipe out my wall defense in maybe, I don't know, like 30, 40, 50 attacks or so. So even weaker people actually are able to clear if you have archer squads on your field, which again is not very advisable to have. The majority of the time you just want frontline with high resistances. So aside from that, let's start from my stall side. So my stall side has Elana in the very corner. The reason for that is people have a choice. Either they go for Elana and then have a chance to kill some of these swordmen, or they will go for the burst side, which has a lot of buffs, as well as the dragon, and potentially kill the heroes so they would minimize the losses. And the reason why I mean minimize the losses, the buffs and the damage of these mages and stuff like that, like they can just wipe this particular side very quickly. And that also depends on the abilities you have selected, and of course with the buffs as well, which again we're gonna cover, but likely the video is like 20 minutes long. So, aside from Alana, we have Balrog with buffs in terms of Warmaker's main, some hero mastery buffs, Lunella with, I believe, Astrarian Fati, also a trinket with the healing received and evade chance, as well as, I believe, a hero mastery which would reduce the attack speed of the enemy if they are focusing the swordmen. So these swordmen are actually incredibly tanky. Then moving towards my burst side, I have Avalon whenever I had the archer squad here, but right now I'm not actually entirely sure. The thing is, I'm not sure if the dragon is being touched by Avalon, even if it's like 2 squares. So if I kind of will notice my dragon just yeeting himself into the enemy backline, likely I will move my Avalon somewhere right here. The thing that this makes is that sometimes the Virian might just go YOLO into the enemy frontline, but aside from that, there is, I don't think, any decent place where I could actually put the Avalon and not really lose that much of, say, DPS. As well, the Avalon is affecting Valerie to do a little bit more damage. Virian, I have him with Sacred Wings, providing the shield to all of these heroes, buffers, etc. Then I do believe Tisafin with Soulfire Force, because I need her to do damage on anyone trying to go to the burst side from the, well, not go to, but rather pincer, because usually some skeletons do. Ophidia with a buffing array, Arian with a buffing array, Flores with a buffing array, and I do believe the Theadrin has Divine Shield to increase her HP, and we're gonna talk about that as well. Then, of course, Avril with DPS. Also, I do believe Virion has a buffing array, Avalon has a buffing array, Elana has a buffing array, and I believe Lunella also has a buffing array. So, I have only a few heroes that are meant to do damage, and boy, they do friggin' damage. And the core of their survival, and of course, these heroes' survival, is pretty much hands down on Theadrin, which is why she's kind of more in the front line. And I would do something like this so she would actually be hit, but then the dragon also kind of will have, I suppose, or rather be more susceptible to damage. That's why I do it like this, and of course, swordmen from this side are just gonna plow through into the empty space. So I chose these heroes for the defense, and they're actually performing pretty decently. Deformation, yeah, that's fine. And I have a couple of fights to show with the same person. So first, let's view the fights, and then we're gonna talk about the heroes. So one of our buddies attacked me, and he wanted to go into a war, and he thought he could clear me after he cleared me from the Imperium, I believe. Let's see, where is he? We had City Clash. Yeah, we had City Clash, and I believe I had like army attack prisms or so. So let's see. As you can see, I have archers with like 230 friggin' million attack. And even then, I think he attacked a few times and still lost some of his army. So this is actually, as I said, army attack prisms. He managed to get his stuff killed, and rather quite quickly. So after this, I believe I fully cleared him or started attacking him. And of course, I just swapped back to my main set, but it didn't have the proper prisms. So I had to reduce some of that stuff because I was losing some archers, some swordmen. And in the end, the last two attacks that he did, he wasn't able to clear a single swordman. And there are two different replays to check. So this is actually the same guy, but let me just show you. So this is the ID 682, and this is the AD. Well, you can actually check by the name as well as I click on this person. So the first fight, or rather the last fight, doesn't show my stuff, no. So one moment, let's load in. All right, so we have to go at 0.5. So this one is burst versus burst. The AI always casts Valerie first. If you have her, then it casts Avril. So if he's facing burst versus burst, he's gonna, or rather, Valerie's gonna, friggin' Avril, god damn it, is gonna cast Blizzard here. The same thing is these archers, these Zen archers. Usually they focus one unit or a hero. Like now they are focusing Basric, but the 25% double arrow literally hit the, what's it called, Nora. And then after the invincibility faded on Avril, they finished off Avril. And that is actually pretty important, because if Avril dies, they cannot really clear the Swordman front very easy. The thing is, if you focus like incredibly on the resistances, you don't really need a Noble Blood Azure Dragon for the front line to actually last if you do happen to kill a couple of the specific heroes with proper build. I mean, of course, they would injure some of the army instead of, heal out the damage and probably reduce the casualties. But this dragon right here is with the what's it called, the upgraded hero predation. So even the heroes that I have are actually doing a little bit more damage to their enemy heroes, or rather his enemy heroes. So this was a pretty easy burst, or rather semi-defensive burst versus their burst. And then we have another fight. Basically, this guy can reach about 4,270, 4,280. I've seen him, so he's not too bad. However, again, even the archers, as you can see, they're focusing the Basric, and then the, say, double arrows just go on the friggin' Avril. I thought I'm just gonna make a mistake again on her, and she's just dead. Like, no other hero is dead except for maybe one or two of his frontline. However, the Avril always walks into the range of the Zen archers, in which they didn't when I had the dire ones. So that is the difference. The dire ones might actually kill, say, gladiators faster, but if they have mages in front, which they usually have that pesky Avril, these Zen archers kinda kill her and kill her rather quickly. And once she dies, again, like, they don't have that much damage to actually kill the Zen swordmen. And they have a ton and a ton of magic resistance. And now it's gonna be just a pretty slow fight in terms of beating his mechs. Now, his mechs have 99 resistances. I think his Gavgar, his Jacks are all alive, so he has all the buffs. And my, like, semi-burst side actually kind of broke through from his stall side with his Balrog still alive and even healing that. Oh, do keep in mind my archers are tier 18, so tier 19, that would be pretty friggin' huge. So, to note, this is my regular PvP set, right? Or PvP prisms. I haven't changed anything. I haven't put any army HP or whatever. So if you really want your swordman not to die, then it's usually Azure Dragon with Noble Blood. You just go most prisms on army HP. And then, of course, the fielded heroes will have to have their specific prisms. And of course, the resistances, I have these on my swordman. Do note that this is city defense, so the magic resistance goes far above. So, aside from that, the stuff that I have. So this is my regular build on my Avril with, of course, wave power. This is my regular build on Valerie with Arcanist Fury. This is my regular build for PvP for Avalon, the set from Clash of Fate, the buffs, the Sky Totem 3-star, and of course Guardian tier 10. Potential is level 70 for Archer buff, Warhorn, and Ardent Aura. Then I have Ilana. This is what I have on Ilana. She has also the core buff, I suppose people would have, which is while the heroes on the battlefield, friendly dragons have 10% damage mitigation. So I do believe this is pretty important to actually have it on Ilana, because she has Solantris, which kind of gives her a 10-second invincibility. So depending where you place it, what you're doing, I kind of would think that this is important just because the hero survives for quite a long time. Then I have Draconic Defiance on her because, like, people usually just don't go for a single Ilana in terms of city attack. They just want to kill the dragon first. So if you have an Ilana in the corner, they usually will have to fight against this. and they're not actually gonna break through, and the dragon will either heal up or the heroes on your field could kill their own DPS and stop it from happening. In terms of potential, this is what I have, and I'm just 2 points away from getting even more magic resistance on my field. So in terms of Varian, this is my Varian build. I mean, it's all over the place. Damage mitigation from weapon. This is Crusader Resurrection. I didn't have anything else for the helmet, so the stats are kind of so-so, but gains a shield every some seconds. The shield stacks, so it kind of helps him survive a little bit longer, but I don't know. And then I have bonus magic resistance for, or rather when he's taking some magic damage. And then, of course, the buffing trinkets. So he has a Sacred Wings because, I mean, he's in the backline usually. The less time he uses, or rather, the further you place him in the back, the less chances he's gonna die. He's like one of the main heroes that you want to keep alive in terms of the human race. And of course, the prism that I have on him is Blessed Power and Magic Barriers, so increases attack and HP of all the heroes around him. So for example, if I have, say, Valerie, she's gonna have even more attack. And then Magic Barrier increases magic resistance for the first 15 seconds, which kind of reduces the damage of enemy mages, like even Avril hitting your heroes. Abilities, all that kind of stuff. Pretty generic, what people should have. Theadrin, now this is one of the probably core heroes in terms of your city defense. So the items I have is 20% damage reduction, and the other 3 items don't really matter. I mean, even this one could actually be changed for something a little bit more tankier, but I just use for more stats. So essentially, you might just want to go for something like Virion, like this one, or the Minds of Mayhem for more evade chance or so. But I use this for stats because I don't really care if she survives. However, you want to use her for other things. And of course, I have 2 buffing trinkets for her abilities. In terms of the artifact, I have Valkyrie's Banner to make the front line stronger in front of the heroes, as well as she's placed in a position where she also uses it during PvP. In terms of Prism, I have Life Extension, so basically it grants her more HP, and the first time the hero's health falls below 30%, she will gain a shield of a huge reduction of range damage. Now this, I really don't care if she falls very, very low. However, this can actually make her survive, probably, or even, you know, a chance to proc one of her abilities like Divine Light, which could actually help out. I mean, who knows? But I mainly do it just because of the HP. So, why do I do it because of the HP? So we have a thing called the Sacred Shield. So whenever she enters a battle, she gains a shield equal to her HP plus some value. When the shield fails, the light or the shield is passed on to all friendly heroes on the battlefield, protecting them with a shield that has HP over or equal to 25% of Theadrin's max HP, plus health and all the other stuff. Then Theadrin gains another shield if her rather health goes below 50%. So 2 shields. I don't know if it stacks, but if it doesn't stack, it refreshes. And the thing is, she has like 96 million HP, and then we have to talk about your dragon as well. So why did I just go from the hero straight to the dragon? So we have this protection right here. This says increases all friendly heroes' health by 70% when the dragon is present. You also have this, increases attack and health of all friendly heroes. So I do believe this somehow affects Theadrin's HP as well. I'm not sure if it's just a straight 70% to this value or so, but it should, or it does grant more HP in terms of the shield, And also, a lot of your heroes just maybe double, triple, or quadruple in the amount of damage that they are able to take. So, 25% of Theadrin is 25 million. If the dragon buff just goes straight up true HP, it could be like even triple the HP of like being able to tank for like well, not triple, this is like quadruple or 5 times more HP than what would Avalon have, because like Theadrin already provides 25 million. With say the dragon buff, she could provide like 35 to 40 million and could happen even twice. So that's not even 5 times, that's friggin' a lot more just because of Theadrin. Same for Valerie, I think like 4 times more. Same for Avril more. However, I don't think that it actually stacks, because from the damage that sometimes people are doing, unless the Theadrin is not really focused and she doesn't provide the shield, it could be that it just procs one time and after that it just refreshes. Like it doesn't stack on top of each other, which is kind of sad. But yeah, that is one of those things. Other abilities: purge the land. During battle, if Theadrin's abilities heal or provide a shield, 35% more damage gets reduced. So essentially, 35% damage mitigation added on heroes twice in the battle, which is also good. And then, of course, Divine Light and Aura of Retribution. This is my Lunella stuff, pretty generic, +1 to her abilities, stats, some defenses, and then buffing trinkets. So, of course, I have the Astrarian Fati. For Prism, I have Reflection Armor. So usually she doesn't die in an instant, she jumps back, but this kind of buffs my, say, archers, I do believe, but I don't have archers right now. In terms of city defense. So this could be swapped if I like go to sleep or whatever, but I use this for PvP in such a build, so I don't really want to swap around. But essentially, it could be okay to actually swap this for better, rather city defense. Of abilities, I'm not entirely sure which ones are actually good. I just went with what I would kind of require, or what kind of seemed better. In potential, I didn't really invest in her that much. Ophidia, a regular Ophidia build. And then you have Armor Corrosion, one of the better buffing prisms. So moving forward, we have Balrog, pretty much generic build on Balrogs. As far as I'm aware, wait, what? Oh yeah, so either you want damage mitigation on the Balrog, or you want the, where is it? I swear I had it. Where is it? God damn, did I smelt it randomly? Oh god. Basically a weapon that will be able to stun the enemy. I'm not sure if it's not this one. I'm not sure where I actually put it or where it is. But basically a chance to stun anything that he's hitting. So we're gonna be trading, say, less damage taken on him for, I guess, an ability to stun, which it depends on circumstances, can actually be better or worse. Now, Floras. This is my Floras build. So, I think I was using a better build, which kind of, I guess, buffed her abilities before, but I kind of changed this for events because I use her in some events. Change this for city defense because I think I have only one sage in the city defense. And this is kind of like a must-have if you want your Valerie to actually cast Fire Dance first. So she is somewhat important. Then, of course, generic build to try not to die. I guess, say Nectar of Life, 5-star to provide invincibility. and of course turn the tide. The thing is, you would want to have a blessing of the piety, but I don't have any good or any proper prism carriers, right? And I kind of need this in city defense, and there is no other hero I can place it on which doesn't die very quick. So I just place it on her because she's a better carrier of the prism. And this prism is actually pretty decent and what you kind of require to have in your city defense. So any damage dealt by the enemy heroes or dragons to melee allies will be decreased by a huge percentage. And this is also one of the prism arrays that can actually reduce a ton of damage to your melee stuff, like your frontline, uh, probably even dragon, because dragon is also, I think, considered melee. So this is something that you really, really want to have. Aside from that, Arian, my regular build on him, Prism Will to Survive, buffing same melee. This event pretty regular build, Soulfire Force tier 8s, and that's pretty much it. I mean, we could go over, say, the Reliquary Stele, we could go over, say, Covenant and other buffs, but I do believe I cover that stuff in majority of the other videos, so this will be pretty much that, and I guess talking about the current, say, formation I have. Now, on my own server, since this is a farm server, there aren't a ton of people that can actually attack me or siege me or so. This person also tried and failed. My buddy, I don't think that he's able to siege me. And this one was like the third strongest player on the server right now. Because I think the first one is Swift account, the second is I am, and the third one is this guy and not this one. So pretty much nobody would want to attack me. So yeah, we're gonna see in the future. I might do a 2.0 whenever the Chinese return and whether or not they attack me, to see whether or not I might adjust some things. But yeah, hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, do hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. As well as if you would wish to support me more than just watching my videos, I have made a Patreon page where you would be able to do just that, and in return I would be able to help you out more individually in terms of events, PvP formations, and stuff like that. As well as I would like to thank all of my patrons for the support. I really, really appreciate it for your subscriptions. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for watching, take care, and stay safe out there.